Hey, welcome to day 62 of my spiritual journal with me, with your soul sister, Iona. So in this episode, day 62, I keep saying the wrong days. I've got my purple topper on today. It's Spiritual Freedom Saturdays. So my spiritual journal, if you don't have something to write with, pen, paper, then go and grab some. So my spiritual journal is called the Soul Legacy Journal. 365 days of your spiritual awakening story. And I call it a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. That was my journey. That is what I share in this spiritual journal with me every single day on the Soul Legacy TV. I also host the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, where I interview fellow spiritual YouTubers on their spiritual awakening story. We also have the Spiritual Ascension after show party and the Spiritual Alchemy giveaway. I'm super excited about that. Season 1 starts in October through to April, and then we have 7 seasons, might go beyond that. And if you have a spiritual awakening, good morning, Robin. If you have a spiritual awakening story to share, and you want to be part of my co-author book series, it is called the Soul Legacy Journal, but it's called Spiritual Awakening Stories of 365. So I am seeking co-authors. I will leave the information in the description and the comments in a pinned comment on YouTube, but you should see it around here if you're watching or you're listening. And so you can email submissions at SoulLegacyAcademy.com. This is for my bootcampers and for my masterminders. So if you want to get involved, read the information down below, and I'll talk about it as we go through this spiritual journal on the Soul Legacy TV. If you're new to me, I talk about spiritual business success without being busy, without being broke, and without experiencing burnout. And that way we have more to give in the world. So this day is Spiritual Freedom Saturday, and it's part of what I call my 7 freedoms. So every single day on the Soul Legacy TV, I do my spiritual journal with you, or you can journal with me, and I talk about each area of your life. I say light work and lifestyle, and leveraging that and having more harmony and balance. And so on Mondays, I talk about Contribution Freedom Monday, Health Freedom Tuesdays, Emotional Freedom Wednesdays, Environmental Freedom Thursdays, Relationship Freedom Fridays, Spiritual Freedom for Saturday, which is today, and Financial Freedom Sundays. So usually what I will do throughout each episode on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, I will say what I've been journaling on, give you some journaling prompts, talk about gratitude, talk about your vision, your values, your vibration. I will pull a card. Today's card is a good one. I have had this one before. I'll pull a card from the Keepers of the Light. I will talk about chakras and energy crystals, and energy. My little crystal for the day is obviously amethyst, tiny little. I bought some chakra crystals. So that brings me to, we have some fun. Talk about books that we've read, you've read, rate your vibration, set your intention to bring more spirituality in every single area of your life, and journal through it. Anything that comes up, all of the things. It's actually raining outside, so I had just made a decision. I'm not going outside anymore because I have extreme hay fever. My eyes were streaming, and I'm like, my run is just not going to happen today because I just can't take any more in. But so we have Robin Nutt with us on the Soul Legacy TV. So good morning, Robin. So Robin is our lead soul guided instructor in the SoulLegacyAcademy.com and also in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. So I'm the founder of and the host of and producer of and all the things. And Robin says that her Spiritual Freedom Saturday equals a 10. So every single day we rate our vibration, how high vibe we're feeling. And this is how spirituality, for me anyway, that soul guidance is brought into all of the areas. And you'll know, like, whether you're feeling high vibe or low vibe or what have you. And bringing that, what I call that soul lens, that soul guidance into your decisions every single day. Excuse me. I've been talking for so much. Robin says, good idea staying for a bit. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. When I went out yesterday, I've become a bit of a homebody, where I went out for a meal for it wasn't specifically, it happened to fall on Relationship Freedom Friday. It was a Queen's Jubilee in England. And I was in the town centre, just gone on the train, I'd walked and blah, blah, blah. And I was only out for a few hours. And as soon as I got inside, though, everything just was streaming. I sounded so awful. Someone says, thank you for the shout. You're welcome, love. So we rate, excuse me. So we rate our frequency, and we bring that spirituality. So if you are new to me, I would like to invite you to take my challenge, my 7-day challenge. It's the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge, which breaks down each area of your life. And if you've gone through a dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening, and you want to go on that spiritual ascension journey and raise your vibration, and on that journey to spiritual alchemy, it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful process. I share with you how to get clear on your vision for each area of your life, including your spiritual freedom. And you might be like, yeah, my spiritual freedom is good. I do my spiritual practices and all things. And then your vibration might be at fear or grief or blame, shame, and do you know what I mean? Like your thoughts and your feelings. Even though you're doing practices, it's the actual vibration that you feel. So when we rate ourselves, we're rating how we feel, the energy that we're emitting on each area of our life, our contribution, our health, our emotions, our environment, our spirituality, our relationships, and our finances. And if any of those are not the way that you want them to be, you're not experiencing that, that means you're not vibrating at the frequency of the vision that you have for each area of your life. And bringing the spiritual freedom in is beautiful. So we rate ourselves between a 1 and 11 in the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge and the Soul Legacy Journal. 1 being low vibe, like I say, soul funk, being soul funk, feeling meh. You know what funk feels like, right? If you've been through a dark night, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, you know what soul funk feels like. It feels funky, right? Just not yourself, just out of sorts, just not on track, not on that soul path of least resistance, anything but that, right? Feeling like you're going in reverse sometimes, feeling like chaos is unfolding in your life, being out of control. And then when the higher vibration for you, this is your life, how you feel, not how everybody else feels, how you feel. And the physical world doesn't have to change in order for you to feel high vibe about it. I don't know if it was yesterday's quote. Yeah, yesterday's quote. I've got a quote for today. Let me just interject this quote from yesterday. Not having the best situation, but seeing the best in your situation is the key to happiness. So it's not that soul flow has to happen because everything has to be perfect. It's seeing the best in your situation and doing something about it and feeling away and knowing that you're doing something, making the best of that situation. So that vibe, that high vibe between 1 and 11, and 11 is connected to source, guidance, your soul. And I say looking at the world through your soul lens. And so when I think of that light work and lifestyle balance I talk about, for me, that's spiritual business success. And I don't mean everything's balanced, you're giving equal hours to everything in a day. I don't do that. I do what is in harmony, and I feel guided by my soul. So let me know what your rating is. And Robin says her rating is a 10. And when we do, my rating is an 11. So what we do when we do the rating, is, do you know what? If I don't drink a lot of water, that is what happens. I haven't drunk a lot of water. I haven't drunk any water, actually, before getting on the live, and I usually do. So, yeah, that's quite shocking. Yeah, that is very shocking. So we rate, and what I do is I say, when you use your spiritual journal, go back to the week before a Spiritual Freedom Saturday, or whatever day that you're doing. Today's Spiritual Freedom Saturday. I can go back and see what I was rating the week before, and it's really weird because I've written in green pen and blue pen today, and usually I'll write in the color pen that it's the day that it is. Each day represents a color, and today's purple. And so I've written in different colors all week, and it's just weird. It doesn't, so when I flick through the pages of my spiritual journal, it looks really weird. I'm like, okay, what day? So last week it was an 11, and so this week it's an 11. So for spirituality, my spiritual freedom has gone throughout the week being guided me. When I look back and then I look today and then I look forward, it's like, where am I bringing that spiritual freedom into my life, making my decisions through that guidance? So I always say that, Robin, you don't have to answer this, but I just direct it because Robin's been good enough to come and participate. And as we have more people, as we grow the audience for the SoulLegacyTV, then, you know, and watching on replay, you know, don't be shy to rate. So has your rating gone down from last week? Is it where you expect it to be? Are you happy with where it is, where the rating is? Like, yeah, I'm really like ecstatic. It doesn't have to be an 11 for you to feel ecstatic. It's, the idea is to just improve to where you are, your level, where you want to be. It's not in a race. It's not in like, oh, well, you're 11, I'm a 1. It's whatever it is for you. And then as you add up through the week, we add up every single day on a Sunday, Financial Freedom Sunday, and you see your rating. It's between a 1 and 11, so you can get a rating as low as 7 or as high as 77. So you want to see each week, when you add up, what you're going to get. So last Sunday, I got 77. I know for a fact I'm not getting 77 this week because something triggered me. And I want to say that spiritually, it triggered me. It triggered listening to the book that I'm listening to. It unbalanced my chakras. Robin talks about on the Energy Healing TV and podcast, your chakras, unblocking your chakras, healing your chakras, clearing your chakras, clearing your energy. Anyway, she's a Reiki master teacher. And the book that I chose to listen to today, it was at chapter 6 is where I left off. It's called, I'll talk about this now actually. The book is called Your Psychic Pathway, Listening to the Guiding Wisdom of Your Soul by Sonia Choquette. Let me know if you've heard of this book. I bought this book years ago when I came offline to help and heal myself first, going through my dark night of the soul, going through multiple spiritual awakenings. I remember listening. I don't know if I've listened to it since then, but it was a good few years ago. And I remember listening and thinking, oh my gosh, wow. And I usually, if I leave a book, I'll play the book. Usually I'll listen to Untethered Soul. And I had about 2 minutes to listen to it. So I was like, I want to listen to a different book. And this one was guided, so on my Audible. And the chapter was on chakras and the energy center of chakras. And I was going to make notes on it. And I thought, I really want to listen to that more deeply. But basically, she was saying what you say, Robin, about your chakras and your root chakra. I listened to the root chakra more. And then she was going to be talking about the sacral chakra. And I was just like, I want to listen to that fully and the influence that has, the energy. And she starts the book by saying, so I went back to the beginning, and she says, I'm psychic. And she said, that gets a bad rap, right? I'll pull up your comments in just a second, Robin. And she says it gets a bad rap, but psychic meaning that she's aware of energies. So I took notes, and I just literally listened to about a minute and a half before I came on. I was like, that's enough for me, and I'll tell you why. And she says that she's aware of energies, thoughts, she's aware of souls and events becoming, like events yet to manifest. And if things are out of balance, just her own openings in her own life, like being intuitively knowing that there's opportunities and possibilities and positive experience coming, and when to move forward. And I love that. And there's something that she said literally within the first minute or so, and I'm like, yeah, I got what I needed today. And I love doing that with books. I recommend books in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network as well. So let me know what book has touched your soul. Books change lives. The sentence that she says is, for her, your psychic pathway, listening to the wisdom of your soul, listening to the guiding wisdom of your soul is perceiving from the soul. And that is all I needed, perceiving from the soul. And that's that thing that I call in the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge. I explain even deeper. Like, there's the physical world. Yes, we're humans having a human experience, but we're souls having a human experience, and we're here on the physical, visible world. But we know that there's that vibrational world, that our higher self. And they say that, you know, not all of us is in the physical realm. And it's perceiving the world through the lens of your soul. So you're not pushed and pulled. That observer mode, Robin and I have decided to call it. So Robin says, looking at the world through the eyes of source. And I say the lens of your soul means exactly the same thing. And then this again, I can't remember what, let me look back on last Spiritual Freedom Saturday with the Untethered Soul. Michael Singer says, the witness consciousness. And then today, Sonia Choquette says, perceive from the soul. I believe they're all the same thing. I believe it's just our way of languaging that. It's just such a beautiful dance in life. It's just so gorgeous. It's such a beautiful experience to have life in that, to lead life in that way. I say we're launching, leading and leaving our soul legacy with the Soul Legacy Academy. And that's what I want. That's what I want to share. Perceiving life. Perceiving from the soul legacy journal, that's exactly it. Helping you to perceive from your soul, all the filters, all the thoughts, all the feelings, and just coming back to that soul self, I believe Robin calls it. So Robin says the vision board challenge is lit. Thank you, Robin. It's coming again. Robin says you don't have your water bottle with you. No, I'm shocked too. You usually have it. Yeah, no, I don't. I stopped using it. Yeah, that's why I don't have it, because my glass, I'll usually bring my glass downstairs and I'll put it on my table, but I can't then drink it because it's in a glass. So since I've been doing the last few weeks, I've had a 500 milliliters of water to get my 2 liters of water in every day. So I've had the glass and it's been easier to drink it through the glass. However, when I have the water bottle, I'm able to drink it on my lives and just like, you know, clear my throat or what have you. So yeah, I think it's going to be a mixture of both, really. Robin says, I'm shocked. That's good that you're shocked, really, because that's a habit that I've formed. Robin says, I agree. They mean the same, just said differently. And yeah, and so it's that bringing that spiritual freedom in every area of your life, that just perceiving from the soul doesn't have to be like this big, I've got to have my chakra crystals, I've got to say gratitude, you can do all of those things, excuse me, and then still be caught up in the humanness of life, really being pushed and pulled. And I actually, we're here to have those experiences, but I literally called that made up drama. It is made up drama, you know, like life has its experiences and sometimes throws challenges, and that you know, the journey is just that. It's a journey with highs and lows and experiences and all the things and pain and disease, whatever, without making up and adding to it. So if we can like clear some of that stuff, then I'm a happy camper. Robin says, exactly. Exactly. So the quote, so I went to the quote from yesterday. Let me see the quote from today, and then I'll pull the card for today, and then we'll finish with a Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, which is a vibrational money voucher, which is the most spiritual way I believe that you can think of money and connecting money and building your spiritual business. I love it. I did it was day 6 of my Bank 50K in 50 days challenge for me, starting the round 1, but it's kind of like the second round, but round 1, official round 1. And I just looked at where I bring spirituality into my business, and this is it. Like these 24 hours come round. Oh, my niece is messaging me. These 24 hours come round to do these lives really quickly. But what they do with intentional living is what I call it, living in alignment with your vision, your values, and raising your vibration. It holds you accountable to not be messing with the 24 hours that you have. You don't know how long you've got, so don't be messing with it. Like really live into your soul's calling, Robin says. And the assumption that we get to escape the human experience isn't the same as being spiritual. No, it's not. Yeah, the assumption that we get to escape the human experience isn't the same as being spiritual. Do people assume that we get to do people assume that? Why would you yeah, okay, why? Okay, so have you ever thought along that train that we don't get to escape the human experience? It's what the human experience, that's what life is, it's because of my human experiences is why I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing, like being grateful. So again, it just is, this is up for me. This is part of my experience, and I go to that twin flame union because that was the last awakening that I went through. And you know, it could be perceived as, oh, well, that was a really bad thing. You're not in union now. I'm like, no, I'm buzzing because I'm really grateful that I was in that, but I'm really also grateful that I'm not. Like, either way, I'm really happy and really grateful. I got my lessons. And I'm still unfolding the lessons and unpacking the lessons, and just a version of me that I never would be if I hadn't have gone that. I called that in. I called that in by releasing the energy that the human experience that had left within my energy field. I tapped on it, and I'm tapping again, right? So it's like, okay, well, am I going to go the next round the same? No, because I'm a different version of me, and making those different choices and having that awareness and that knowledge is like, well, I don't want to have another relationship because I had like an experience that didn't work out forever. To be fair, it wasn't horrible or whatever all the time. There was just an awareness of a contrast of what I want to experience, what I want my life to look and feel like. And that wasn't then it wasn't then going to fit the vision that I had and the values that I have. It just wasn't in the end. It was at first, and like things are, but it showed me even more of who I want to be in the world. It showed me even more to show up, speak out, and serve deep. Do you know what I mean? In fact, this spiritual journal came because of that, because we were doing lives on Facebook for almost 200 days. And I was going to do my channel, the Twin Flame channel, and then now it's the Spiritual Dating Awakened Soulmates Marriage CV. That came about because of that human experience, and because all of the videos were not uploaded on that channel. And I was like, now I'm just going to start again. I'm going to start afresh. I'm going to do that. Had I not had this experience, this wouldn't have happened, and the whole experience wouldn't have happened. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. Do people do that? Want to escape the human experience? It's a beautiful experience. Rowan says, in the sense of assuming we won't run into a tougher time even ever again, or have a human emotion. Yeah, you talk about the emotions and stuff. Yeah, that avoidance of, well, I'm so spiritual. So a lot of people came to me when I was first developing this system, the 7 freedoms, the intentional living codes. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll keep going, we're repeating it like every Saturday. Spiritual freedom. You can't get away from this system. On a Monday, you're going to think of contribution. On a Tuesday, you're going to think of health. On it, because it's a cheers acronym. It's an acronym: cheers to financial freedom frequency. On a Wednesday, you're going to think of emotion. You do this spiritual journal long enough with me, whether you come on live or not, you're going to come back to living an intentional life. And Emotional Freedom Wednesday helps you to understand your emotions and where you're at, and be okay with the emotions. I've shared that this week. So I'm hoping that the Soul Legacy channel just goes really far, wide and deep in the spiritual community then, because yeah, assuming that we won't run into a tougher time, then that's why I say with the Soul Legacy journal, it's a spiritual awakening story of your spiritual awakening story. And we go and we go and we go and we go. The dark night of the soul is not a night. For me, it was a dark decade. I'm just saying. And all of the emotions that come with that. However, managing and not micromanaging, managing our emotions, expressing our emotions, feeling them is what you help us do. Yeah, I don't know if there's that cocoon. People would say, I'm done. Like I thought I was done with that, or not expecting a cycle to come back round, or not getting a thing, or I don't know, like there's maybe that is that assumption that they were making, that yeah, I've done all the inner work. You're always going to be doing the inner work, but you have to do the outer work. And I'm someone who says do the outer work and do the inner work alongside it. Lead with the outer work, because it's going to bring up more inner work for you to do. When you're sitting there in your humanness, well, I'll just do this inner work on this and this and this. It's not even the real inner work that you actually probably need to do. It's probably avoidance. And I really do strongly feel that, like, whatever somebody else says in that reaction, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Like, I want to do this in the world, I want to do that in the world as a light worker, as you know, in my spiritual business, hide behind closed doors. However, doing inner work, well, that inner work is then not bringing you the vision that you want. So therefore, do the outer work and do the inner work alongside it, and at least you'll be on the path to actually doing what it is that you say you want to do. Following through is massive. So hopefully that helped. So did I say? So the quote. Did I say the quote for today? And if I did, I'm going to say it again. So when you this is a quote for today by Joe Namath. When you have confidence, so this is basically what I just said. When you have confidence, you have a lot of fun. And when you have a lot of fun, you can do amazing things. So I teach clarity, confidence, systems and strategies with your spiritual business, and bringing that in a way that just feels really good. If you don't have clarity, you're probably not going to have a lot of confidence in your spiritual business, because you're pushed and pulled by like just random things that people are saying out there, like go out and build a list. And I'm like, dude, no, how's that working out for you? Go and build a legacy with your book and really making a difference. And if you have the confidence to get on the phone with your soul tribe, and actually I teach 50 breakthrough sessions that serve. If you have the clarity and the confidence to do that, completely game changer. And it can be fun. Robin, I've noticed that you've done more. So if you don't know, Robin now has the Energy Healing TV and podcast, and she does her daily lives on the energy healing lifestyle, about the energy healing lifestyle, and Robin's been having a lot more fun on her lives. And I heard you say yesterday, just being you, and I excuse me, sorry. I apologize. I'm not apologizing for coughing, but yeah, I heard you saying being you. If I lose my voice, that'll be it, because I've got recordings to do. And she said, I'm just being me. And it's like, well, who else could you be? That's what I've said to so many people. Who else could you be? I'm not referring to you, Robin, because I know that you are aware of that, but we catch ourselves saying, I'm just being me. I'm just being this, you're being more, this is a silly version of you. So it's bringing all of the elements. And I remember you first doing your lives, and you was announcing, I'm nervous. And we do get nervous. I still get nervous during certain lives, or I just have not sitting a lot of nervousness, but just sitting like, oh, I'm going, and I just go. And I've got my masterclass at the end of the month. I've updated the slides. I'm like, I'm excited, but I still get that, for like a minute or so. And I've done so many lives. I've done so much video. Part of the spiritual business, oh gosh, I've got a song for it. Biz YouTubers Network is, showing up, speaking out, and serving deep, and doing your daily life. I challenge you to do your daily lives and get your handle on your own system and have fun with it. Build that confidence, build that clarity. And Robin is a living, breathing testament to it. I've loved what you've been doing on your lives. It feels amazing. Excuse me. Robin says, exactly, we'll always be doing the inner work. If we wait until we're done with the inner work to do the outer work, then we'll never do the outer work. Boom. Exactly that. Exactly that. Robin says, again, I'm going to repeat it, because I remember hearing people repeat things, and I'm thinking, why do they do that? But it stuck with me more. And I do that often. So let me do it again. Okay. So words have energy and they have power. So absorbing that. So even in your spiritual journal, write that down. Write it down. It's gold. Robin says, exactly. We'll always be doing the inner work. If we wait till we're done, quotes, with the inner work to do the outer work, then we'll never do the outer work. And that, yeah, and that is only through doing the outer work can you actually know, oh, I was just doing the inner work and I wasn't doing the outer work, is when you're brave enough. So we have the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, which I'll talk about at the end. Robin says, right, that feeling of hiding ourselves behind fear, feeling like I'm being me is fearless. Ah, Margot, thank you, Robin. And I teach what I teach with in the Soul Legacy Academy. And then I say, look, I cannot give you those steps. Like, if anybody's promising you that they could give you those steps, they can't give you that. It is when you have to put your big girl, big boy pants on and do it. Do the thing, as I say. Do the thing. Do the outer work. Like, I can give you scripts. I can give you a framework. There's freedom within the framework, but there's definitely a framework. And there's a reason for doing things. I was sitting in that space of fear of failure, I'm sure I'm going to sneeze, fear, bless me, you're lying when you pull the face. Robin's been doing little clips from her daily lives and would be doing that for me. And if you clip it, I'll be like, really? I was going to say I'll be mad, but I won't. But yeah, so, you know, doing that, so right, that feeling of hiding ourselves behind fear, feeling like I'm being me is fearless. So I sat in that space of fear of failure, fear of success, and fear of selling, and it was crippling. It was really crippling. And it didn't come from that spiritual essence, right? I didn't feel like I had that spiritual freedom. Fear is a low vibration, right? So fear of being you, but you want to serve your soul tribe and your soul clients, but you don't want to show all of you. Why we don't feel like we can support other people? Purely probably because we've been through the dark night of the soul and we're like, I feel like a hot mess, but I know I feel called to serve. And so it's that fine line between owning our shit and doing a certain thing and serving on that from that certain space and letting people know, here, this is where I'm at on the journey. If you're where I was, because I'm a few steps ahead now, then I can support you. Not trying to support somebody who's further ahead of you in the sense of they've done it. That's not your soul client and your soul tribe, right? And so it's staying in our own lane and understanding where we are on the journey, the point of our soul path. And I feel like some of us overestimate just how far we are, and some of us underestimate how far we are. But the overestimating how far we are can be really painful because we sit in fear even more. And when we underestimate how far we are, again, that can be really painful because we're not owning where we are and we're not acknowledging just how far we've come. We're always still beating ourselves up. So wherever that is, it's just, it brings up that fear. Robin says, you give me the steps to guide, you give the steps to guide us to it. You can't remove the fear for us or give us or give the result to us. We do that as we do the thing. Do the thing is what I say. Yeah, I use the F-bomb because I'm like, do it. Just like, listen, can't get to the next step of this framework unless you've done that. And people want to build on this, and go out and build a list and do all the things. Like, no, dude, do this bit, then do that bit, then do that bit, then do that bit. And you will be a changed version of you, like you've never even recognized yourself. And you will feel that internally. I know it because I've done it and I've taught many people it. There's some people in resistance, and I'm not saying my way is the way, my way or the highway, or my way is the only way, but what I'm saying is what I feel called to do and the way that I feel called to share with the spiritual business success and leveraging your light work and lifestyle, building a business that's global, building a business that's leveraged, building a business that has passive income streams, that has leverage income streams, that takes your knowledge and packages it up. I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. When we have that fear, and we're not trusting and having that knowing, it becomes more it becomes, excuse me, sorry, it becomes more, it becomes harder than it needs to be. So as Robin and I have worked together and brought together our gifts, Robin is like, oh, when I did it, it was fun. And there's that resistance. Robin's the queen of clearing the resistance. It's like, oh, I had resistance to it. And usually, Robin, you've said as well, and this is true for me, that you'll have this resistance or this big, like, but what seems like a boulder. I know that you say like it's feeling like hitting a brick wall, and then it will get easier. But it's just like, that last push, that last whatever it is. And sometimes we think that, and sometimes in the spiritual community, we take that as, yeah, that's not for me. Yeah, my guidance said no. No, your fear said no. Your humanness said no. Ego, whatever, said no. Your soul didn't say no. Your soul can feel what's on the other side of that. Sometimes we do have to move through it for that expansiveness. And I'm going to pull this card. Right, yeah, I do give the steps. I'm guided through the steps. And sometimes people say, what did you say again? I'm like, I don't know, watch the recording. I don't know. Like, what is it? Like, well, you know, when you said so-and-so, I'm like, I actually don't, because I talk a lot and I share a lot. Not that I don't believe in what I do, but it just, there's a framework, and then there's the freedom within that framework comes for me as well. I don't, my masterclass is a 4-hour masterclass, which the last time I did it, it ended up being nearly 6 hours. I'm just saying, it's like, I can't remember all the things I said in nearly a 6-hour training. So this is the card from Keepers of the Light by Carl Gray. I pulled this today, so I was shuffling, and I'm like, okay, it's Spiritual Freedom Saturday. Who are we gonna have? Keepers of the Light. Took a little while. I'm like, and every time I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll just pull one. If you're not gonna come forward, I'll pull one. So, like, as you do. So Robin says, excuse me. Robin says, yes, it's like that pressure of moving through the rebirth. I know, right? When we're born, it's like, whoa. It's heavy and tight. But man, so freeing once we get through it, that canal of actual birth. And yeah, it does. And that spiritual freedom comes at that expense, like you're in that paradigm shift. And your thoughts and your feelings that have been controlling the subconscious, it's like, okay, well, in order to have a different experience, you're going to have habitually think a different thing, like subconsciously, not consciously, subconsciously. And it's like, it feels uncomfortable, painful sometimes. So this is the card for today. Guess what it says? Soul expansion, baby. And I can't say this dude's name. So I think it says it in the book of how to say it. I have hoping. I don't think it does. Mahavatar Babaji. Does that say that? Mahavatar Babaji. Mahavatar Babaji. Have I learned dyslexia? Don't sue me, okay? So this card says your consciousness is expanding. What did I do just before I pulled the card? I wrote down perceive from the soul, and then I got this. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection. My 2 mile walk, 2 mile run, notification just came up. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things. Can I get an amen? We understand spiritual freedom, the connection between all things, all areas of your life, all things, all matter, all humans, all objects, all things, all the universe, all the connection. Okay, because we're souls and we're energy. And my energy is moving. I don't know if you heard that grumbling of energy. We're going to do gratitude, and then we're going to do the vibrational money voucher, and then that'll be it for Spiritual Freedom Saturday. Doing good. So Mahavatar means great incarnation or avatar, and Babaji means sacred father. Mahavatar Babaji is a deeply respected master yogi who was introduced to the world through the teachings of the Indian yogi something Yogananda. That's not me being disrespectful. I just can't say the words. Like, they're hard words, and I don't understand why they need to write them that long. I just don't get it. So I do understand, but I just can't read them. As he's called for short, he is said to be over 2,000 years. He is said to be, sorry, as he's called. He's said to be over 2,000 years old and able to travel between Earth and other worlds. He is said to have an invisible temple in the Himalayas that can appear to those he wants to connect with. Many believe that he is like Christ himself, bringing deep love, acceptance, forgiveness, insight, and direction. So you just believe whatever you like. It's just a prompt for inspiration or not. So extended message, you may feel that you've retreated from the world recently. I did do when I first got this card. And I've still quite a homebody, which I never used to be. I was a city girl. And obviously everybody was during the pandemic. Maybe you've not been as active socially or spiritually, but this time of inner rest has really paid off. You are becoming more and more consciously aware of how connected you are to God, whatever you believe, universe, God, I say universe, and all living beings. Energy is moving. This sense of union is called yoga. Yoga goes beyond physical ability and into the sense of awareness that's created through spiritual practice, meditation, and devotion to the divine. Mahavatar Babaji, the yogic father, is here to inspire that fire of union within you so that you can understand how your thoughts and actions are creating waves of energy that form your life. So that is beautiful. Waves of energy that form your life. It's energy. And so on the Energy Healing TV YouTube podcast, Robin will actually support you in your thoughts, your feelings, the energy of it, clearing all those thoughts, feelings, and experiences, trauma, triggers, that are layers and layers and layers and layers every single day, a layer at a time, or many layers sometimes, but layers and layers and layers that are the energy waves that make up the experience of your life. You don't get to skip it, basically. You don't get to skip it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do the vibrational money voucher after we do gratitude. So on the Soul Legacy TV, I do gratitude for the 7 freedoms, for what I call living an intentional life, for the intentional living code. So this acronym is, for me, I call it the intentional living codes. I call it the 7 freedoms. I call it Choose Financial Freedom Frequency. It's the same thing. Robin says many, many layers. Many layers. So I say, this is a gratitude stone that my daughter gave me, a love heart stone. I'm like, she's 19, she gave me it when she was little. So we used to say gratitude and pass the stone around. It's just a nice prompt. You can hold something as you say gratitude, hold yourself, whatever. I know that you will be familiar with gratitude. I say it in this way, say it in a way that resonates with you, write it down, speak it out, use this as your journal, spiritual journal with me prompts. So think of the acronym, the Cheers to Financial Freedom, CHEER, S and F, and contribution, one thing that you are grateful for in each of these 7 freedoms. And I like to say I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate, but you actually have to feel the emotion, right, of being happy, being grateful and appreciating whatever that is, and write that down or speak it out. Robin says, I'll be right back for what I miss. Love you. God, love you too. Beautiful. So yeah, I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate whatever that is. And so and I want to just say that I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate Robin coming on our live every day, and she says I'll be right back for what I missed, because she's got commitments, family first. However, there's still a level of commitment there to that growth and to that intentional living, as well as her own intentional living. And what Robin does is bring each of the 7 freedoms into her own system and marries the two and clears what I don't clear, clears with the inside stuff, clears the energy, the thoughts, the feeling. I don't do that and give you the freedom and the outside stuff, the spiritual business. I do some of the inside stuff, but not in the way that Robin does it, and not in the way that, you know, in the knowledge. She's got so much vast knowledge, and I can sit in this space really, I was going to say safely, but really securely, in terms of knowing that where I don't pick it up, she will pick it up, or where I left off, she'll pick up for you. So if you haven't subscribed to Robin's Energy Healing TV podcast, then do so, because she'll pick up spiritual freedom and go through the thoughts and the feelings, and the energy, and because we are energy, right? So she deals with that. I talk about the freedom frequency, but that's what she deals with. So I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate Robin just, you know, being here and then saying, you know, I'll come back right back, and I'll come back when I can. Family is first, and that's that level of commitment that Robin has to her family. And she talks about it on her own life, so I'll let Robin talk about that. And it's a beautiful dance, it's routines and rituals. So it's really super early in the morning for Robin when she comes on this live. So yeah, that is that appreciation and not taking it for granted, because when Robin says I'll be right back because I can see it drop off and she's not on, I'm like, oh. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no, like, dude, she's been on for 45 minutes. That's where that happy and grateful in that moment. And I've not been on all of Robin's lives. I've tried to make it, and like I've gone out or whatever, I've travelled, but we just enjoy each other's company, and it's just really, really nice. So I digress, but I'm happy and grateful for that just in this moment. So thank you, Robin. So when we're saying I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate, conjure up the feeling. But also, I like to think of the things that I'm happy and grateful and appreciate in the past, what's present, and the predicted future, kind of like thanks in advance. And the spiritual vision board challenge will break down each area of your life and really, Robin says it's lit, I believe it's lit too, and just support you in so many things. It's not just sticking a cork board, it's really diving deep on all of these concepts, these spiritual concepts, and bringing it into not on your vision board but actually your life, your spiritual business. It's beautiful. So thanks in the past, thanks in the present, and thanks in the predicted future, and bringing the energy of that into now. And if there's any energy that feels gunky, feels like soul funk, then Robin will help clear that, because then you can then manifest, vibrate higher and manifest that frequency. And Robin, like I was saying, like if your rating had gone down or up, or why it's not at an 11, or why it is actually at the thing, and just acknowledging that and journaling on that, using that as your journaling prompt, and saying thank you, and I appreciate, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate for wherever that is that's brought you to. That's a high vibration, right? So think of something for your contribution that you're happy and you're grateful for. Think of something that you're healthy and you're happy and you're grateful for. Use that as a spiritual journal prompt. Again, write it down. Think of something for your emotions, something that's happened this week, something that you want to happen throughout next week. Whatever it is, something in your environment that you're happy and grateful for and you really appreciate. Relationships, spirituality, and your finances. I'm not going to go into mine today because I didn't do them down on my prompts. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And then what I want to talk about is the vibrational money voucher. So the Soul Legacy Journal is a magical journal, right? This is a spiral bound one. I just got a new copy. Been writing in it. Like, I love it. And this is the blank one that's on Amazon. The Soul Legacy Journal book is going to be like this as well. It's not going to be notebook. And I'm going to have the companion journal for the co-author book series. I'm excited, which will have, I wanted to go and actually use what do I normally come back to: vision, vibration, and values. Right, if something is in alignment with my values, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. So that brings us to the vibrational money voucher. If spending money or earning money through your spiritual business is not in alignment with your values as yet, i.e. you have money blocks, your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs and your actions, your habits are not in alignment with receiving that money. I'm on my day 6 of the Bank 50k and 50 Days Challenge. Robin and I are doing that. Then it's not going to align and manifest, right? So I teach to align and automate your spiritual business, banking 50k in 50 days, doing it vibrationally first, so that we can do it in the visible world together. So vibrationally, you get £1,000, dollars, or euros every single day from the spiritual journal, from the Soul Legacy Journal, and you spend it. You go and actually spend it every single day. And if you don't want to spend it every single day, you type 10% a day to a worthy cause. That's $100, right? Pounds, dollars, or euros. My worthy cause is Karu's bereavement care, because when my son made his transition 7 years ago, I got help from Cruise Bereavement Care. So energetically, I tithe that every single day. As I do the bank 50k in 50 days challenge, then when that money comes in after taxes, blah blah blah, then I will tithe and I will actually do it in the physical. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the 50 days, right? So it's beautiful. So we do that, and you don't get to spend the money on your bills because I want you to come from the place that's already done. And then the third thing is that if you don't want to spend it every single day because it's like a chore of going out and shopping online, or that's just not your habit, I actually spend my vibrational money voucher every single Sunday on Financial Freedom Sunday. We also track our incoming and our outgoings on a Sunday, like in the visible world. We do the vibrational world, and see the difference. So when you're dealing with your money in the visible world, you've still got your vibrational money to spend, and you'll soon see that there's a match between that and then that exceeding that, which is amazing. So spend your vibrational money voucher. Come on to the SoulLegacyTV YouTube podcast on a Financial Freedom Sunday. Let me know what you spend your money on. You can write it down. Write it down in your spiritual journal. Again, use that as a spiritual journal prompt. Come and spiritual journal with me every single day on the SoulLegacyTV. I love it. I think it's just amazing. Feels really good. So in Robin's world, it is brow or third eye chakra. Some people call it brow chakra, third eye chakra, healing Saturdays. So Robin will be talking about third eye and obviously the brow chakra, and clearing and what that feels like when it's blocked, what it feels like when it's overactive, what it feels like when it's balanced, all the things, bringing that spiritual freedom into your light work. And she speaks on the being an empath and energies and the spirituality around that, all the things. It's beautiful. What else? Oh, so if you want to share your spiritual awakening story, if you have one, and you want to be part of the co-author book series, again, details will be in the pinned comments on YouTube and in the description wherever you're watching this. If you're watching this in the Soul Legacy Academy, then make sure that you jump onto the 7 Freedoms monthly call-in gym call, where we have a 2-hour call to support you on your light work and your lifestyle balance. I have my book. I have a free chapter of my book for you, which is called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul-guided influencers compass to leveraging your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. This is it, the 7 Freedoms, leveraging your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. This is me walking my talk, doing what I do. I have my book on Amazon. It went to #1 bestseller on pre-order in a week of me launching it. And I gave myself a year to write it. So you'll see my book launch videos. I'll leave in the cards and in the description. I'll leave a link to the 7 Freedoms Spiritual Vision Board. And I will also leave a link to my free chapter, so my masterclass Bank 50k in 50 days, where I will show you how to show up, speak out, and serve deep, speaking, serving, and signing up soul clients via video. Love that. Done that for the last good few years now. And as part of the masterclass and part of the teaching, I have a free chapter VIP day to show you how to start grow and build, I think, a successful spiritual business, online spiritual business on YouTube, and launch it with a #1 best-selling book, because I've done it, been a co-author, 4th time best-selling author, 3 time with the co-author book series, and 1 time with my own book that's actually on pre-order that I actually haven't even written. And lots of people write a book and spend decades or years and years writing it, still don't hit #1, which is fine. But then when you have a business, you want to get your message and your movement out there and align it. And I have a 5-day YouTube from scratch challenge that is the core of my book. I have a passive income stream coming from the book. I have a leveraging income stream from the book. My boot camp is about my book. My mastermind is about my book. We have a retreat, all the things. If you want to get involved, there's plenty for you. Again, I host the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, interviewing on spiritual awakening. It all ties together. I just had like a thought of somebody saying, oh, it all fits together, doesn't it? And I'm like, dude, it's supposed to. I don't know where I got that. I don't know whether that was in a dream or not, but I'm like, dude, it's supposed to. So that is me, Iona Mage, your soul sister, signing off. Spiritual Freedom Saturdays. I shall see you next Saturday for Spiritual Freedom. And if you want to join me for Financial Freedom Sunday, you'll see around in the cards in the description a playlist. Invite a fellow lightworker in to journal with us. Use the spiritual journal as a success tool, so you can leverage your own lightworking lifestyle. So that is it, and I shall speak to you soon. Big love. Take care.